Give it another move around. Just like that. Now at this point, you're ready to put your chicken back in. You just nestle it down in there. Nestle it down. And see all that? That's flavor. That's juice. And I just realized, happens to the best of us, there's one ingredient that I forgot to put in here. But that's okay. We still gonna put it in there. I've got 4 chicken bouillon cubes. Now, the chicken bouillon should have went in when the onions, celery, and carrots went in. Okay, that's when the bouillon should have went in there. But we're gonna go north, east, south, and west, and put those off in there. Put them down in liquid.
Crystal,
And then at this point,
Crystal X, can I use chicken broth or stock instead of
yes.
water?
Oh yes, definitely. Absolutely. You most definitely can. Now we're going to put a lid on it. And guess what? This is going in the oven. So, I'm going to go in here in the oven. Take our pan. Put that off in there. Okay, be that way. So, now we want to check our potatoes. Our potatoes and carrots. Now, at this point, you only want them majority cooked. You don't want them all the way cooked. Because remember, we're getting ready to add fish to this. So, fork test. Not quite. Almost there. The potatoes are almost there. Okay? Even the whole ones are almost there. So I would say another 10 minutes and we'll be ready to add our fish in. Okay? So we're going to put this back in the oven. Back in our 400-degree oven. And what we could do now, while we're waiting, is we could work on dessert. Yum! So, let's get this kept off here. Actually, I'm going to switch knives. I'm not even going to do that. So, like I said, I went by my church member's house, and her neighbor has pear trees. So, myself, and 2 other ladies, we went over there and we picked pears. So, we are going to do individual pear crisp. It's not really a full crisp because all we're simply going to do is we're going to cut our pears in half. And you want a good firm pear. Like I said, these were picked this morning, right off the tree. And this way, everyone gets their own little half of a pear for dessert. I know a lot of us don't like to give kids, sweets before bed, but there's so minimal amounts of sugar in here, in this dish, that it'll be fine. So, we're just going to hollow out the center, take the seeds out of our pears. I had so much fun today. Okay, so we're just gonna hollow these out, and then we're gonna make kind of a crumb topping that is gonna go into the center and the tops of these pears. And I sometimes do use flour, but you know, I'm all about sneaking a little goodness into the kids. So instead of doing flour and rolled oats. Now for this you want to use rolled oats, not the quick cooking oats. You want the old-fashioned rolled oats. Okay, so what I have here is I have half a cup of rolled oats and 2 tablespoons of ground oats. All I simply did was take some of the rolled oats and put them in a grinder and ground them up. Okay, so that's the half a cup of old-fashioned oats, and then on the bottom was the ground oats. Actually, no, the ground oats are in here. So, as you can see, it just looks like flour, but that's not flour, it's actually ground oats. Now, I also have a pinch of salt, some cinnamon, and nutmeg. The nutmeg is about 1/8 of a teaspoon. The cinnamon is half a teaspoon of cinnamon. So I got that, and we're going to mix these together. And then we are simply going to add half a stick of softened butter. Y'all know what? I almost forgot another ingredient. I almost forgot the brown sugar. We got to have brown sugar for the crisp. I'll be right back. Now see, this is what happens with too many cooks in the kitchen. They get the moving stuff and don't know how to put stuff back. So, this is what we're going to do.
It was on the left.
We're going to use white sugar. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of white sugar. If you like it a little sweeter, add a little more.
Crystal asks, what size spoon you were using to hollow out the pears?
This is actually a melon baller. And I was using the big end of the melon baller to hollow out the pears. So it's not real deep. Just deep enough to get the core and the seeds out. So now we have our mixture here. We're going to go 4 tablespoons of butter. Now in some recipes they'll say use cold butter to cut it in. I do that when I'm doing a full crisp, meaning when I actually peel and dice up the pears and put them in a pan and I do the crumb topping to go over the top, then yes, I'll use cold butter. But with me putting the filling into the holes, I want to be able to spoon it in a lot easier. So I'm using softened butter, which will give me more control over the mixture to put it into the pears.
Christine says she loves a quick meal. Less
Oh,
time
yes.
in the kitchen.
Less time in the kitchen. And with kids going back to school and some of them doing homeschool, Mama, I don't understand this homework. Mama, can you see what this teacher is saying? I don't understand. We don't have all the time to be in the kitchen cooking, thinking they're doing homework, getting assignments done. We got to check them to make sure. And, you know, occasionally they need help understanding. So, okay. We've got our butter mixed in. So now we're going to take our spoon here. You can use a tablespoon or a regular eating spoon. And we're just going to we're going to start with about a tablespoon into each one. And see, this is why I didn't have my butter cold, because I can scoop it and then mold it right into the hole. So let me show you. I've got it. Pull it out. Take your pear and you just push it down in there. And as it starts to cook, that butter's going to soften. The cinnamon's going to get into it. The spices, everything is going to get in there. Now, some people will do this and still have the crumb topping and just sprinkle it all over the top. I like to keep, when I do it this way, I like the integrity of the pear. Now, if I have some extra, then I will take each one and pack a little more just on top of the pear. Or I might just sprinkle it over the top, just making sure it stays on the actual pear and not all down into the pan, because you don't want to lose filling at the bottom of the pan. Although you could take a spoon and scoop it out and put it on your plate with your... So say, let's see, where's a big one? This is a pretty big one. Let's move this out the way. I'm just going to, if you want, you can put it on top, but then kind of smash it down on top of there like that.
Christine said it's going to smell delicious.
Yes, 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 it is. It's going to smell so good. And I got some vanilla ice cream that's going to go with this. So, okay. We've got our pears in there. Got them all pretty much upright. Now, what we do want to do, though, is add just a touch, not even a half a cup of water to the bottom of the pan. So we'll take our measuring spoons here. And our measuring spoon will go 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of water. And then we're going to put some foil over the top of it. And guess what? This can go in the same 400-degree oven. You don't have to wait to turn the heat down or anything like that. Straight into the same oven. Now, for our potatoes and our carrots. Now, once again, they're not fully cooked, but they are cooked enough to where we can add our fish right on top. So, Like I said, this is swahi. It's an Asian fish. It is a cousin to the catfish. My husband despises catfish. He doesn't like it. He's like, he had too much of it as a kid. Is his excuse for not eating catfish. But that's okay. Any firm white fish will work. And Walmart does sell this fish. This is where I actually picked up my swahi from. So all we're going to do is make a spot right into this pan. Move some of that over. Move some of the veggies over. And I also like swahi because you buy a bag of fish and they're individually frozen. So if it's just you, you pull only one out. If it's you and someone else, you pull another one out. You know, and these potatoes and stuff, we can actually kind of stack those up some now. And I'm actually going to move some of these over here. Because remember, it's a weeknight. We want minimal dishes as possible. So, we're going to do that. We are going to pop this last one on there. In that nice spot that we've made. And we are going to simply season this with a little bit of our chili oil. Let's go this way with it. Okay. We're going to add just a touch of salt. And some pepper. And some pep. Sprinkle it high. Okay. And just to give it a little bit of smoky flavor, just a hint of smoke, we are going to sprinkle a little ground cumin over the top. Now, if you don't care for cumin, you definitely don't have to. Or any spice blend or spices that you want to, you can. That's one of the good things I like about swahi. It has a very mild flavor and it receives flavors very, very well. Now, we're going to put this fish in the oven. Now, this fish literally needs 10, 15 minutes. And it'll be ready. And dinner will be done. Now, if you want, you can add a side salad to it. Not a problem. Just add a side salad. Or just have the fish and the root vegetables. Now, I'm going to need you all to come back. Keep an eye on my Facebook page. Because I'm going to do another live tonight showing you everything done and out of the oven. So next week, my kids will be going back to school. It'll be their first week in school. So next week, I won't have a live video. But don't worry, I do have a video for you all that I'm going to be putting up on Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's going to be discussing and talking about how to clean and store your produce. So you want to tune in next week so that you can see, with everything going on, we need to be cleaning our produce. And I'm going to show you the safest way, one of the most effective ways to clean your produce and how to store it to have long time use out of it, so that your vegetables and your fruit don't go bad on you before you get a chance to use them up.
Julius asks, what, no butter on top of fish?
No, no. I did not do any butter on top of the fish. I actually used a chili flavored olive oil. So instead of butter, I used olive oil, and I didn't just use plain olive oil. I used a flavored olive oil. So it's healthier and better for you. Plus, this chili oil is going to give that fish a nice kick that it's really good. We enjoy it. Now, remember, next week's episode is not going to be a live. It is going to be a pre-recorded video on how to clean and store your fruits and vegetables for long-term use in your kitchen, so that you're not buying and it ends up going bad before you get a chance to actually use your vegetables. So, tune in next week for that episode. It'll be 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Facebook. If you're not following me on Instagram, you can follow me there as well at chef_Cherie. I'm also on LinkedIn at Cherie Hunter. If you have any questions about a personal chef, or just need some advice on a recipe, or will this go with this, I'm here. Just shoot me an email. Go to my website at www.globallovecatering.com and send me an email. There is a link on my website so you can send me an email directly. And if you cook any of these dishes, whether it's the fish and potatoes, or it's the chicken and rice bake, or you try your hand at the pear crisp, please tag me on Facebook. And when you do, use the hashtag Chef Cherie, hashtag Global Love Catering, hashtag Make It Happen Mondays. Stay blessed, and until next week, be safe, wear a mask, and show love. Do we have any questions before we leave?
The last thing is, I love your recipes by Tanya.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I will see you all next week in the comments. Bye.